Welcome to QIS Project Planning and Design. This is the first of a series of videos that we'll be creating to help you think through some of the details of the standards. And we're reflecting on the first four, which talk about vision and mission. Project planning and design is really difficult. It can be very complex these days with all sorts of tools and standards and things that various donors would want you to do. But it all begins in the same place. It begins with the vision and the heart and the calling for your work. Whether you are a founder or long to be a founder, or you're a subsequent CEO, or you're a staff member, or you're a volunteer, all of us need the same vision and passion. And if you're a CEO or a director who has taken over from somebody else, you still have to envision the staff and the volunteers and share with them the view of what it is that you're seeing, just like Moses did and Joshua. But we're actually going to think about the story of Nehemiah, which you can read or listen to in the Bible. It's fascinating. Nehemiah was a foreigner, an exile, born in a foreign land, I think. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. And he served the king of that country. And one day his brother came to visit, and Nehemiah asked about the homeland and said that it was in a bad state. The people were in a bad state, the walls were broken down, and it was a mess. Nehemiah took some time out to think, reflect, and pray, and after a few days the king noticed that he wasn't his normal self, and he asked. Nehemiah shared, and the king said, "What is it you want?" And he asked for some time off and some letters to give him safe passage to go and visit. When he got there, he didn't gather a group, he didn't tell anybody what he was doing. He just went and he walked and he studied and he looked and he reflected and he prayed. And he made a decision. I'm going to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Of course, you can't single-handedly do such a thing. So then he gathered a group around him, a small group, and together they made a plan in sections who would be building each part of the wall. And so you see the story of how they did that in just 52 days, amidst opposition from outside and even from within, when people started to grumble about the poorest of the poor didn't have enough, and same problems. Hundreds, thousands of years on, some things never change. Eventually, Nehemiah returned to his service. He trained leaders and he left them in charge. He visited on another occasion when those leaders he put in charge were having some difficulties, and he went back. He disciplined some people and he set things back and he left again. So there's many lessons for us there. But for us, where do we start? Well, we start by seeing the need around us, thinking, praying, reflecting, and seeing, what is my part in this? I can't rebuild a whole city. I'm not rebuilding houses. There's one piece that is my work. Whether as a leader or as a follower, I have a part to play. We're going through a process at the moment of a 5-year review and a 5-year plan. And that has actually come right when COVID-19 hit. It's really challenging. But we're thinking and scribbling. This was the first attempt. Wouldn't mean much to anybody except myself. It was from a meeting where people described their past, the good and the bad, and their dreams for their children in the future. We converted that into some sort of little scribble village, which you could do with stickmen. You don't have to do it this way, but we're just trying to have something to hang our thoughts around. This isn't usable publicly, it's useless, but it's an aid to a discussion. Obviously we would have to go into a lot of detail, but that has helped us then to say, Well, hang on a moment, let's look at this over a period of time, and this here now actually represents 10 years of 3 children who are walking a journey with the network over a 10-year period. And right down here we have the COVID-19 lockdown and all that means about how our lives across the world are changing. How do we respond to that? The vision is the same, the vision is still for children, but now we have to do it differently, and we really need wisdom. We begin to plant some flags, some milestones, some goals, some dreams. These are the sorts of things that we would work out together. And you would ask children, you would ask staff, you would ask volunteers, you would maybe ask your community, just talking and engaging, going back, thinking again, scrap it out, start over, until with a core group of people you're certain that these are your headlines. If you had to describe your vision within, let's say, 10 words or 10 seconds, what would you say? They say when you meet the Queen, you have a maximum of 10 seconds. If you're interesting, she'll talk to you for another 30. So how would you convey your message and your vision? It takes a lot of thinking. Once you've done this, the plans will flow. And we will study how to make plans together over the course of this module. We'll walk that journey together. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be opposition, but at least we can feel that we're doing that journey together. So, God bless you, and please take time out, pray and think and talk to others.